I'm Bronte Cresswell. I'm a multi-award-winning social media expert, and I own Dash Academy, which is a training school for social media managers and business owners. I didn't even do social media. Social media wasn't even offered at the university at the time. I was doing public relations. I graduated that degree, finished up at that venue, and I started working for a marketing agency. So in that marketing agency, I actually wasn't offered the job off the bat. I had to absolutely throw myself at them to get the job. They said to me, we don't have any openings, and I was like, I want to work here. It was the only agency on the coast that I felt like I really wanted to be part of. So I basically said to them, I will work for free, I'll do whatever you want, I'll do an unpaid internship, just let me, help you out. And from that I did, I think it was about 4 weeks free interning, and then I was offered a position to support them on some projects, and then from there I was able to work my way up to being a project manager in the business, which was really exciting. From there, I ended up... From there, I actually ended up leaving. So I'd been there for about 12 months, and I learned so much. It was amazing to have that time in an agency. But I really realized that in a lot of agencies, and it wasn't just the one I was working at, across the industry, organic social media was not celebrated. It is not how it is today, where content creators, it's its own industry, and people really, really understand the value of building that organic community. This was when organic social media was just an add-on to other forms of advertising. And I loved organic social media, and I really, really saw the opportunity that it had for brands. So because of that, I decided to quit the marketing agency I was at, and I just thought, I'm gonna see what I could do if I did this for myself. So I literally remember doing it. I gave myself 6 months. I said, I'm gonna have 6 months. If I can do something with this, if I can build a brand for myself, amazing. And if I can't, then honestly, at the end of the day, I'm going to have a slightly bruised ego, a slightly dented, savings account, but end of the day, that's about it. It didn't feel that risky. So I decided to just quit and see what would happen. And I started out from home. I was at the kitchen table. I literally remember one of the first things I did was order business cards, because I was like, obviously, business owners have business cards. Watch me be a businesswoman. And I, sat up at the kitchen table, did not have a single idea what I was supposed to be doing outside of that, but I just thought, let me try and get some clients any way that I possibly can. So I threw myself out there. I started posting in groups. I started reaching out to brands I knew. I reached out to contacts that I had and basically said, I'm doing social media management. Who do you have that I could possibly work with? And by really pushing myself, that was how I was able to build a little base of very, very low paying initial clients. But it didn't matter, I had a business and I was feeling, very successful. So it took me a little while of building that up, and I was feeling good about it because I had a business, I had people paying me, I had the bare minimum of being able to pay my bills, which was my initial goal. I said, as long as I can pay bills, I'll be able to sort of build it from there. And it was still very, very messy though. And I had a look at the business, and I kind of realized that the way it was, I couldn't scale. From where I was, in terms of the capacity I had with the clients that I was working with, how much I was charging them, I had nowhere to move, and I was feeling very overwhelmed and very almost burnt out, which I shouldn't have felt, 6 months into business, but I just didn't have any sort of structure behind me. So I do remember sitting down with myself. It was a genuine moment that I had, and I thought, okay, is this my career? Is this the next step of, my job, and something that I actually really want to build for myself? And when I realized the answer was yes, because I could have gone this way, and I could have just gone and got a job at that point. I hadn't really set up anything substantial. I was like, could just wrap it up, go do that, or I could actually turn this into something that is really big and legitimate for me. So I decided, this is it. I want to give this an actual go. I've got enough traction behind me that I feel like I could really do something with it. So I made the decision in that moment. I'm not doing it small scale anymore. I'm actually going to take this seriously and treat it like the business that it's meant to be. So what I did was, first thing I did was look around and go, okay, at the moment I'm treating this like a hobby. I'm actually not treating this like a business at all. I'm treating this like something that I'm just kind of playing with, and it's fun, and I got business cards, and I'm a businesswoman, but it really wasn't structured in the way that I knew it needed to be to actually offer my services as a brand and create something unique for my clients. So I restructured everything. It took me months and months to really define something that was actually going to allow me to grow and actually allow me to build the business in the way that I wanted. And from that, I was actually able to hire within 6 months of quitting my agency job, and I got a commercial lease within 12. From there, I actually built it into a highly successful multi-six-figure marketing agency, and we moved into a beachside office. I had major national and international clients, and it turned into a really big operation. I had 8 team members working under me and a pool of about another 12 contractors working on our brands as well. I'll just reset because I'm trying to think of what else happened.
It's amazing. You speak so well.
Oh, good. Any notes from here?
So you've now explained to everyone where you've got it to the point,
Yeah.
where it is.
Yeah.
So as that scaled and started ebbing and flowing in that new structure,
Yeah.
what continued to happen?
Yeah.
What sort of clients did you bring on?
Sure.
What sort of people did you collaborate with?
Sure.
At what point did it get to
Too big, yeah.
Like, all right.
I need to sell this. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's hard because the girl that bought it, like I can't say too much. I can't remember what's in there, but I'll say what I can. Amazing, okay. So it ended up being a really, really successful business, and it definitely grew bigger than I realized, but I had so much fun in it. I was working with incredible brands. I was working with an amazing team, and at some point I looked around, and as proud as I was of it, I also realized that I had built a business that wasn't actually aligned with what I really wanted for myself. As much as I absolutely adored what was built, my place in it no longer felt aligned, and I kind of realized that I actually think I'd built something for someone else. So, that was making decisions in business that I felt like were the decisions that I had to make. When I hired, it was because, I've hit a certain level and I now need to hire people, and I need to take on this client, and we should be chasing that type of client, and we should be running these types of campaigns, which was amazing for me to learn, and I'm really, really glad that I went through that process, but I'm also really, really glad that I was able to be honest with myself when I did hit that point and I looked around and was like, okay, this isn't actually something that I want to continue building for myself, but I'm really glad that I could build something that someone else can carry on with. So I started the year 2022, and it's really funny. We started the year and I made this plan of what we were going to achieve that year. And I was really hype about the plan. I was like, this is going to be great. I've got all the, KPIs in there. I've got all the big goals. And the more we started to check those goals off, the more this thought started to come into my head of, I don't think this is, right for me at this stage. I really am proud of the business, but it was almost like I was feeling myself removed from the business and removed from the progress that the business was making and what the team was doing. So at some point, I really, again, had to sit with myself and be honest with myself and think about, let's just toy with the idea. If I was to sell this brand, what would that look like? What would the benefits be? What would I do next? And just allowed myself to really think about that and sit in that thought and not feel guilty about that or not take on the weight of it. I just wanted to see what would happen if I explored the idea. And when I did that, it became blatantly obvious to me that that was just the next step that I had to do. It wasn't fair to my team or my clients or anyone else around me if I was to continue at that stage, because I just knew it wasn't quite what I was really wanting to do and what was lighting me up. So I decided to sell the agency. I always knew that I loved training because in my time in the agency, I'd always incorporated training into it. In my early days, I used to run workshops for small business owners in the area. As I moved through that and we had more and more inquiries coming through, I was always really, really honest with business owners. If they came to me and they said, I want social media management, and I would say, look, it's actually not right for you right now, but let me train you. And knowing that was something that I really, really enjoyed and definitely lit me up, showed me that that was definitely going to be the next stage. I also, from my time in the agency, had learned so many valuable tips and valuable angles that I knew if I could teach business owners this, it would help them immensely. So I went through the entire sales process, and when I came out the other side of that, I had the academy, and I started targeting business owners initially, and I was working with them, and I was working with massive teams and, in-house marketing managers, and it was incredible. But I was approached by a few social media managers, and I realized when it happened on 3 separate occasions that this was probably something that they were looking for. And they said, you know, we've watched you build your agency, we've watched you build such a great business. Can you come into my business and help me and show me what I should be doing? And initially, it's so funny, I still, you know, looked at them and was like, I mean, I can, but I don't know how much value I can have. Like, show me what your setup is. And it was like being slapped in the face when I saw it, because I was like, it just showed me how much effort and how much I had actually put into building out the processes, building out the systems, testing every program under the sun that I could possibly think of to find the perfect programs to use for every stage of the customer journey. So when I saw these social managers setups and I was like, oh, there is actually so much value that I can give you here, it was a complete light bulb moment. So that was when I sort of started shifting to focus more on social media managers. I definitely do still work with business owners and in-house teams, but my space with social media managers, helping them set up their business and structure their back end, is absolutely the big space that I'm in right now, and I'm loving it. It's really empowering to help people not only grow their social media businesses, but also realizing how many people want to get into that space. How many people are, you know, seeing the people working on laptops in really cute cafes and picking their own schedule, and that is the life that they want for themselves, but they don't know how to get it. So I'm working with a lot of people in that space to build that business so that they can start to structure their life in that way and actually achieve those goals for themselves. So that's a little bit about my background, and if that sounds like something that is aligned with you and where you're currently at, I would love to have you in Socials Boss course. I've designed this course to have every single thing that I wish I had at the start, and it is a full roadmap of every single thing that you need to implement in your business or set up in your business to become a successful social media manager making $10,000 a month.